Hey everybody, what's going on? Sean here with Zero to Income, and I'm with Dana, and we are talking Brilliant Directories today. We just finished another video on Brilliant Directories, and we want to break them up into two different videos. In the last video, we created top level categories for Canadian vacations. And in this video, we're going to take the next step and do some importing of business records. And Dana, of course, will go into that. Um, but a little bit of background. You've got your directory website, right? You're excited, and it's like, hey, how do I use a directory website? What do I do with the directory website? And for us, it was like, let's use Canadian vacations. It's a domain that Dana had, and we wanted to run with it, right? But the question is, what do you got to do to set it all up? And so what we're doing is the initial stages here of setting up Canadian vacations. And in order to actually have a directory website, we need listings. So what are we doing, Dana?
We're gonna rock and roll on this now. We're gonna kick it right back into gear here, and let me share my screen again. So it's cool because last time we just knocked out in about 5 minutes how to build these categories: places to stay, things to do, places to eat. And we went in here. We did it in member categories.
Mhm.
We only had to hit this button once, add top level categories, and add the list. You can see that on the last video.
Yep.
Then what we
It'll be up
did was
above.
we went into the menu manager, and we went to the menu manager and said, well, we want the categories. We want to build out these categories right here to be links so that we can just hit these links and it will take us straight into that category. The problem is right now, there's nothing here, right? There's no data.
Yeah.
So now, Sean, we're talking about all of Canada. What province do we want to start with?
Um, I'm not real familiar with provinces per se. But you're on the East Coast. We could go
So New
with
Brunswick, New
yeah.
Brunswick. There's St. Andrews. New
Uh-huh.
Brunswick's a great tourist spot. So what I'm going to do, and we have our records already set up here in. I should say we already have some import records available. You have to have import records available if you want to do this, and they give you 100 to start with, so you
Mhm.
can mess around. There's 100's enough to kind of get messing around with it, which is really cool.
And get some
Um,
listings. Yeah.
Yeah. So what we do is we go to My Members right here and we go to Business Data. My Members, Business Data.
Okay.
Now, let me go back for a second and talk about what this is going to give you, because you're looking at this and you're saying, well, I can add import credits, I can buy them, but really, what's the perk? What's the big deal? So let me go back to main vacations just for a minute, and let me just find somebody. Okay, Christmas Cove Inn. All right.
So
Mhm.
here's what's kind of going on in case anybody's getting confused. Dana runs Maine Vacations, which is similar to Canadian Vacations, but it's all focused on Maine. So
That's
we're
right.
looking at two different websites.
Yep.
His
I'm sorry if
production
I'm
website
bouncing
is Maine
around. Don't mean
Vacations.
to confuse you. Yep.
And so what we're doing here, we're using Maine Vacations, which is something that he's already got set up as kind of like a template to use to kind of direct us on how we want to set things up at Canadian Vacation. So we're looking at a live site that is a seasoned site for Maine Vacations.
That
If
has
anybody
some
is
real
watching,
members.
yep,
Yep.
yep. If
Has
you're
some real members in it. Yep.
exactly.
So let's say this Christmas Cove Inn. See how this image appeared here?
Hmm.
I didn't have to do anything other
Wow.
than do an import. So that image showed up. Now, if I click Christmas Cove Inn,
Hmm.
look at this boiler text that already appeared here. I didn't have to do anything for that boiler text to appear.
Wow.
Okay. Their phone number here, right? So if I click that, it's going to show their phone number. I'm not going to do
Mhm.
that.
And if you're
The
on
face,
mobile, it should automatically connect you to the phone.
yeah, the
Yeah.
phone, the Facebook link, the website link, their address, the pin on the map. I mean, I didn't have to do anything other than import the record, and
Wow.
it's its own page now.
Yeah.
Because if I go to Google and I say mainvacations.com Christmas Cove Inn, I should get them. They should have a link here. I'm not going to dig. Well, let me just do site indexing. Some indexing is still going on my site, so it might not be showing up here yet. Oh, Christmas Cove Inn. Yeah. Okay. So it hasn't, that page specifically hasn't been indexed yet. So it's not showing up yet. But anyway, um, I've got other websites here too. Let's get rid of that.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a sample of kind of what we're looking to import.
It
And
blows me
now
away
let's,
that all that was just imported automatically. You didn't have to do a thing.
yes, yes.
You
So
know.
that's what makes this import really cool. And it's one of the set apart features from Brilliant Directories from other directory websites.
Yeah.
Almost every directory website you can import.
Right.
But how much work does it take to import? In a
Uh-huh.
different platform, I would have had to, and I've had experience in a different platform. I had to go on to like a tool like Outscraper and get all this data together and then uh, export it out and then kind of like massage the data to import it correctly and then had to go into the platform and import it and tell it exactly what fields to use and it was way too complicated and I didn't get any imagery.
Hmm.
So uh and I didn't get a nice phone button and things like that in this other platform either. But anyway,
Wow.
so what we can do here is let's start with New Brunswick. So down here, what I can do is I'm going to say New Brunswick,
There it is.
Canada, right there, right?
Okay.
And now what I'm going to do is let's do hotels. I'm not going to do like a ton, Sean. I don't want to burn up
Sure. Yeah.
just, because we want to see kind of what this looks
So
like.
you can say hotel, and let's just say you have let's say that we're working with those 100 credits, and we have our three categories, right? Places to stay, things
Mhm.
to eat, things to do. So
Yep.
you could do 30, 30, and 30, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to limit it on the next screen, but this one right here, just leave it blank,
Okay.
and you can just ignore it. This is
Hmm.
something they added, by the way. If you know a specific business, and it will
Yeah.
kind of like tell you. Now it's weird because sometimes you type stuff in here and you don't get a result. Don't worry about it. It's not going to work for everything.
And
All
I'm
right.
smiling right now because if we're not the only ones talking brilliant directories, they actually have a Wednesday call that they
Mm,
do. It's every Wednesday. They put it on their YouTube channel and they talk about the different things. And the reason I'm smiling is they talked about this business name optional when you want to find a very specific name of a place you want to import.
yeah. So what we're going to do now is down here at the bottom we have these preferred attributes. Now we want to get the most likely to be active businesses.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I'm going to show you something here in a way that you can test to see kind of like how many results you might get, and it's super easy. Um, what if I just unchecked all of these boxes and left them unchecked? Which means
Okay.
I don't care if they have an email address or not. I don't care if they have a phone number. I don't care if they have a website. I don't care if they've been updated 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Give me that data.
Yep.
So I'm going to hit search records, and it's telling me it's got 143 for New Brunswick, Canada,
Okay.
right now that
Yep.
that we can import. Well,
Cool.
let's go back and let's say, okay, well, I want to make sure I've got an email address because guess what? If I don't have an email address, I can't market to them. If they don't have an email address, people can't fill out a lead form to get information to the
Yep.
business. And if they don't have a phone number, who's going to call them? Right?
Yep.
You can't call them. If they don't have a website URL, there's no place to direct the traffic when they actually go look at a listing.
Sure.
And if it's not updated in the last 30 days, there's maybe a better likelihood that they're not actively maintaining the listing.
Yeah.
So let's do that. Let's look at those four fields and hit search.
And notice
Oh,
also in parentheses there, it says you're not going to be charged for searching. So all this stuff that we're doing right now, we're
yep,
not, it's not costing us any money.
all
We're just
free.
checking
Doesn't
stuff out.
cost us anything. And so we're just doing some recon.
Yep.
So that
Yep.
gave us 14 results. So we've got 14 business. That's pretty low risk when we got 7,600 credits to work with right
Yep.
now.
Yep.
So I'm going to say, you know what? Let's go for it. Let's roll the dice. Let's import these 14.
Yeah.
So let's go to the next page.
When you
Now
think
it
about all the different places in Canada that you could go and grab stuff from, 14 from here, I think that makes sense. And
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So we have three membership plans here. And we're going to want to have a claim one. But let's maybe that'll be the next video. We'll talk about how do you set up a claim listing,
Yeah.
Sean. But I'm
Yeah.
just going to throw these into a plan just so we can see them.
Okay.
Okay. And then we can move them later. That's not a problem. But let's
Cool.
just
That was
begin
my
to.
next question.
Yep, we can
Yep.
move them.
Beautiful.
So we're going to set them as let's set them as not active
Okay.
to begin with. We just don't know what we're going to get, right?
Sure.
So it's going to create a new member tag. It's going to call it this. So if we ever want to find these, we can find them under the member tags, but don't worry about that right now.
Okay.
Add to an existing category. Well, let's say the top level category is going to be places to stay
Mm-hmm.
because these are
These are
hotels.
hotels. Yep.
And let's say create sub or sub category
Mm-hmm.
if same name. All right. So so now what's going to happen is we're going to create them in places to stay. And then however they're tagged in the directory services being used here is how it's going to get tagged as the subcategory.
Mm.
So let's say it's an inn. Somehow we got an inn that showed up in this hotel list.
Okay.
Um, it's probably going to show up as an inn under places to stay. We're probably
Ah.
going to start populating inns.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably going to have some hotels. We might have a cottage rental. We don't know. But so now let's just say import records. Yes, let's continue, and let's do it. And now let's view the progress.
Wow.
And it's going to take a minute to. It's not going to be instant because it's building these out. It's building out some boilerplate text and things for us so that we've got some copy on these pages. It's not just a blank page.
Canadian
And
Vacations is going to actually have legit members now. They haven't been claimed though, but yeah.
yeah, Canadian Vacations. Yeah, we're going to get some members. So it's up to 5. It's going to take it a minute. Now, while that's importing, let's talk about claiming.
Okay.
Let's let this do its thing and let's leave and come back to it. So over here at Christmas Cove, well, that's not a good example. Let's see. Mm, maybe I don't have claim ones set up on here. Let's do places to eat. I'm pretty sure I don't have any restaurants set up. Oh, here it is. Claim listing.
Mm-hmm.
So when we have these set up properly, they're going to have this claim listing button, which means that somebody from that business can come and say, I want to claim this listing.
Mm-hmm.
And when they claim the listing, they're going to be presented with our plan options.
Okay.
They could say, I want the free plan and I'm going to create my basic. And it's going to say, you're claiming this, and they can fill out this information. We can also control, like, we got to approve this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we can't just let people just claim any business under the sun just because they want to cause trouble.
That's my next question.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we can set up an approval process for that. We're not going to get into that in this video, but when I talk about claiming a listing, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So go back.
It's just a
But
basically way of saying, hey, I see that you imported my company into your directory, and I
yeah,
just want to let you know that, yep, that's my company, and I'm the contact person for that company.
yeah, yep. So let's go view members now. So I'm back on the Canadian managing Canadian vacations. Let's go to view members, and look at that. We've got some members. We've got one
Hold in
that
the images if they were available.
yeah, pulled in the images that were available. So boutique hotels, man, they got a few locations here. That's interesting. Um, Sometimes you're gonna find things like this, bookings at terratrust.com,
Uh-huh.
and you're gonna find things that like you question whether that is a real thing.
Yep.
So let's go look up terratrust.com and see if it's legit.
That almost looks like a travel agency to me that's somehow come up.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this Terra Trust thing. I'm just like, I don't know. I think maybe I'm gonna keep that one as inactive.
Yep.
But as far as the rest of them go, at first glance, they look these look like legitimate email addresses. It's not like a Facebook. They didn't show, like, sometimes people will use like something at facebook.com. They're not
Yeah.
employees of Facebook.
Yeah.
So I'm going to select all of these. I just did this little button right here.
Yep.
Boom. Selected all of
Yep.
them here. And now I'm going to uncheck this Terra Trust one.
Yep.
I'm not going to
Beautiful.
add that one. They're actually already added. What I'm doing now is I'm going to make them live.
Ah,
So
okay.
now I can do, I think it's account status, apply, and say active. So I
Cool.
just I just did the one. I just had to hit that because I already had them selected. Now I'm gonna say,
Mhm.
okay, we'll make these 13 active. Sure. Now what we should find is already on Canadian Vacations that those are active listings. So let's go back to Canadian Vacations. Let's refresh the page and let's go to places to stay. And we should have 13 listings. Boom. Look at that. We've got 13 businesses already. Woo! So
Wow.
let's go to Amsterdam in suites. And we see we've got some boiler text here that was created automatically for us. Now, this map, by the way, is not working properly yet
Hmm.
because we haven't set up the integration for the maps.
Hmm.
We can do that in a future video, but they've got great documentation for setting up all of those things. When we
Right.
go into the dashboard and we actually go into settings, general settings, and look at the integration section here. I don't have anything in here right now. We haven't set any of that up. um, so the map portion is not working correctly right now, but we do have some businesses listed on CanadianVacations.com.
Beautiful.
That was
Now,
our goal.
for anybody that saw that little navigation menu that showed on the main site, I had a little navigation bar on the far left. I have
It's right
stuff
here.
knocking over here. And you might be
Talking
wondering,
about
hey,
this.
what's that? Yep,
Yep.
exactly.
That's
That's
because,
that's
yeah.
showing up because the browser knows that we're logged in right now as admins. Okay. And so
Yeah.
it's giving us the option to go and do some editing. That's not going to show up for a visitor. Just want to, make
No,
that clear.
no, they're not going to see that. That's just for us because we're
Yep.
logged in and we're able to navigate the dashboard and everything right now. That's true. Yep.
Yep.
Cool. So I
Awesome.
hope that helps. Let us know if you got questions. I'd love to know your experience with trying to do some of these things yourself. And what are the gotchas? Um, I'm curious what you all think. I love the import tool. I think it's awesome, and we're going to be doing more importing
Mhm.
down the road when it comes to doing restaurants and different things. And probably now that we've got the 30, now, what am I trying to say here? 30. What am I talking about? Um, Now that we've got the 13 that we just did that looked legit, we could come back here and do this again. Let's do hotel again.
Mhm.
And let's uncheck updated in the last 30 days and see how many we get with that. And we're going to set that back to New Brunswick, Canada.
Okay.
And we have 31 that, and the cool thing about the credits, now you're wondering, well, what about ones I already got?
Hmm.
Well, guess what? If it's a duplicate, you're not going to be billed a credit for it.
Yeah. Okay.
So you want to know that because
Yeah.
especially when you get to the place where you're doing a bulk import and you're like, I don't know, some of these businesses are ones I know I already have.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
if you
Because
already
that
have
was
it
the
on
next
the site,
question was, of those 31, are
yep,
those including the last 14 that we just grabbed? And it is, but it's smart enough to know that it's only going to charge us for 17,
that's right.
17 more.
Yep.
Cool.
So that's just the super, super basics. So the thing you want to remember when you're doing this import is spend time thinking about if we go to this next step and we're getting ready to import, you
Hmm.
need to really stop, slow down when you're thinking about this, the categories.
Hmm.
Say create a sub. Oh, we need to look at the subcategories on those, by the way. So
Ah,
places to stay and automatically create whatever the next level is. So let's go back and see what it did create for those. If we go back to the members,
Hmm.
Actually, we can tell just by going to member categories. It created one sublevel called hotel. So every one of those was actually just the one sublevel category of hotel.
Yeah.
So it created this sublevel for us automatically. And we can see that when we go back to the website, places to stay. Well, maybe because there's only one, it doesn't show us, but it does give us the ability to put hotel would show up on the left hand side as a subcategory,
Uh-huh.
sub of hotel of places to stay.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So yeah, and when we click on these and we look at their specialties, it just basically says hotel because it created that as a subcategory.
So how does the send message thing work? Is that an email function
Yep,
or that?
that will
Yeah.
send an email contact. You can control it um, depending on how you've got your stuff set up, but that will send an email to them
Hmm.
saying basically that it came from CanadianVacations.com and whatever's put in this contact form, they can see it. We can also limit like what is previews and all of that. We need to get into probably talking about leads at some point, Sean, because
Mm.
that becomes important when it talks about lead management.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now we are affiliates. I know
Hmm.
we talk about this on every video. So if you've heard this 20 times, it's okay. You're probably going to hear it 20 more. Um, but we put a link down in the description of the video
Yep.
that you can use.
Yep.
And you're like, if you're on the fence and you want to build a site, I would encourage you hit the link, get on the email list because Brilliant Directories has got excellent marketing and they're going to find a price point that eventually you're going to be like, oh yeah, I just can't resist now.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
got it makes sense, and we don't want you to just throw money at systems. We don't think that way. We don't work that way. We are affiliates, and we love Brilliant Directories, the support team, everything about it. It's really rock solid, and
Yeah.
I've got experience with different platforms. Brilliant Directories, by far, in my opinion, stands above the pack.
Yep. Yep.
Customization and everything. And I know you're going to look, see a lot of dials, bells, whistles, and you're going to be like, I don't know what, but I don't know what to do. There's too many options.
Hmm.
Right? Well, there's plenty of help out there. You've got Brilliant Directory support, but you could find on Upwork, you could find people to Brilliant Directories experts that could build out your site really inexpensively and do it
Yeah.
for you, like really inexpensively.
Hmm.
Um,
Wow.
So if you get overwhelmed, there's plenty of resources. Of course, you can come back to the channel here. You can put a question in.
Yep. Yep. We're more than happy to support you as well and answer questions if we can. And keep in mind with the affiliate code, we also have a coupon code, zero to income. Again, that'll be in the description as well. That'll give you 30% off. Again, we really are impressed with Brilliant Directories and can't say enough of good things about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
All right.
thanks
Catch
for
y'all
watching,
later.
everybody. Yeah. Have a great day.
See ya.